Wednesday, and we rolling. We are rolling, folks. March 3rd here. Hottest show on the streets, #1 forum for Bama football news in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming to you from the Magic City known as Birmingham. We are streaming to you the show on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, give that thumbs up, drop a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way you have the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. Spring practice starts in 16 days. Alabama spring football beginning on March 19th. Not only are we streaming this to you through YouTube, but we got you covered also on Facebook and Twitter. So all forms of social media got you well taken care of when you talk about hearing about your Crimson Tide. Awesome to have each and every last one of you tuned into the show on today. The show is presented to you by WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That is WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Go ahead right now, copy that four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, showing that support to Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and the dominance, the pageantry of owning the fourth quarter. So check them out right now. WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Do that today. Also, if you want to become a member to TDA on YouTube, you check out that link in the description, in the chat line. There's a link right there that will show you how to become a member to our YouTube page. But I got to shout out my man John Ivory one time in the production studio doing his thing on a Wednesday. We got a great guest coming up here later in the show. My man Chris Rogers, former Alabama defensive back, played from 2005 to 09. A huge reason behind that 2009 SEC and 09 BCS national championship team. Gonna be awesome to talk to one Chris Rogers. But we also want to hear from you today. For Tide Faithful, 205-448-1358. That's the number for you to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Got a great show prepared for you guys on today and on yesterday. Gene Stallings, legendary head coach Gene Stallings celebrated his 86th birthday on yesterday. So Coach Stallings alive, well, doing very well. A happy belated birthday to one Gene Stallings. Also, folks, daily Super Chat Go here, $75 daily Super Chat Go. You guys have been phenomenal helping us out. We appreciate the love, the passion, the appreciation that you guys have for us making this your show on the channel. But beginning now, first topic of the conversation on tonight, and this goes to the Alabama fourth quarter program, the Alabama offseason program. I've gotten the chance to meet with, have a conversation with, my sources, the guys that I trust, the individuals that are well connected with what's going on inside the program. Alabama in the offseason fourth quarter program. And talking to the guys that I know, some nuggets here, some big updates going on within the offseason program as the Crimson Tide pushing toward spring football, which once again starts March 19th, and then it goes into the spring game, the summer workouts, the fall camp, and the 2021 college football season. So we got 6 major updates here that I'm about to get into coming from the fourth quarter program. Number one, at the wide receiver position, 2 guys to keep your eyes on. Now, Alabama's going to give the veteran players the first crack at all 3 wide receiver positions. When you look at John Mechie at the X, the split end position, at the top of the formation, Slade Bolden in the slot, and Xavier Williams at the Z, the flanker spot, the bottom of the formation. So Alabama's going to give the veteran guys the first crack at all 3 wide receiver spots. But 2 young guys to keep your eyes on, Javon Baker and Christian Leary. Javon Baker, first and foremost, he's got it now. He's got it down. He's good to go. He's set to go. He's locked in. He's making plays. He's become a much better blocker. He is ready to be unleashed as a full package, big play wide receiver. And we were waiting to see him do this in the 2020 campaign, but there were still some aspects to his game that he had to fine-tune, that he had to correct, that he had to improve. But now, according to people I have spoken with, Baker good to go, Baker ready to go, Baker poised for a big impact, not just in spring football, but going into next season. And right behind him, Christian Leary. Christian Leary, I'm being told he is the one freshman at wide receiver who is starting to separate himself from the rest of the group. Now, this does not mean that Aja Hall and Ja'Cory Brooks aren't doing well, because they are. They both have brought in strong attitudes, tremendous attitudes. They're doing well in the fourth quarter program, but Christian Leary is just turning heads. He's got that next level speed, and Alabama looks for him to have an opportunity to maybe snatch that slot role, to snatch the slot role at receiver away from Slade Bolden, or him having a big role here in the special teams aspect, kick return, punt return, because of his speed, his athleticism, his acceleration, his big playability. So the two wide receivers, the two young guys to keep your eyes on here, Javon Baker and one Christian Leary. As we move on down here to the second big update from the fourth quarter program, is at the running back position. And first and foremost, we pick up Bryant Robinson Jr. here. B-Rob is set to take his moment. Finally, he is set. He is ready. He is poised. He is primed to take his moment. He has spent he spent some time here with Dr. Matt Ray, working on not just his strength training, his strength abilities, but also the speed as well. Nobody has been able to outwork B-Rob in the fourth quarter program, so he's going to be the number one back, the primary back here for the upcoming season for the Crimson Tide. But the question is, who's gonna be behind him to create that 1-2 punch for Alabama? And what I've been told is right now, Jase McClellan, coming into his sophomore year, looks like he will be the guy that will be the sidekick or the Robin to Bryant Robinson's Batman. And Jase McClellan this past season, we saw the speed, the burst, the explosiveness, the acceleration, the ability to hit the hole, take off, hit the afterburners, get up and down the field. Now, I would like to see what does Trey Sanders look like when he is back fully healthy, to be able to do everything from the running back perspective. He's been working with Coach Jeremy Giselle, who's over the rehabilitation part of the program. He's also been working with Dr. Matt Ray too. So for Trey Sanders, the team not being fast with him, kind of taking him slow, wanting him to be back fully healthy from the injuries he suffered in the car accident, but looking forward to seeing how does Trey Sanders respond upon him getting back. But right now, the 1-2 punch for the Crimson Tide out the backfield looks like Bryant Robinson and Jase McClellan. As we move on down here to the offensive line, and here's the big ticket right here. The offensive line, you're replacing 3 starters from a season ago. Landon Dickerson off to the NFL draft, Alex Netherwood, and Deontay Brown. But what I've been told from credible sources is on the first day of spring ball, as you're seeing this on screen, here is how the offensive line is projected to look from left to right. Left tackle, Evan Neal. Left guard, Tommy Brown. Center, Chris Owens. Right guard, Emil Ekiyor. And right tackle, Kendall Randolph. Now, this is not set in stone. This is just to start spring ball. This is just what's going on in the offseason program. There's still an opportunity for a couple of young guys, maybe a few freshman players to rise and take a spot should that happen. But right now, just as we speak here, from left to right, Evan Neal, Tommy Brown, Chris Owens, Emil Ekiyor, and Kendall Randolph. Now, the reason why Brown and Randolph's names are highlighted, there's big competition at left guard and right tackle. At left guard, along with Brown, you got Tanner Bowles, who's fighting for a spot. You've got Pierce Quick, who's fighting for a spot, as well as other guys at right tackle. You can look at J.C. Latham could take that spot. Tommy Brockermeyer could take that spot. Javion Cohen, who is a junkyard dog, can take that spot. Damian George can take that spot. So there's a lot of competition here brewing on the offensive line. But it's a good thing Alabama does have 3 returning starters in Neal, Ekiyor, and Chris Owens. Right now, from left to right, Neal, Brown, Owens, Ekiyor, and Kendall Randolph, the projected offensive line to start spring ball here. As we move on down to the 4th big update, we go to the defensive line, and here is what I'm being told. There's a lot of excitement about this group. There's a lot of excitement on the face of Freddie Roach as a defensive line coach, especially where the young guys are concerned. Now, the team is happy about Phidarian Mathis being back, him being the leader, the energy guy on the team that Alabama is expected to have huge production from. Brian Ray is back, and the question for him, can he put in a full season healthy? He's been injured. He's been banged up a lot. Can Brian Ray give the Tide a full season healthy on the field? And then there is also, you got the likes of T.M. Smith. You got the likes of Jamil Burroughs. Fans really happy. The coaching staff really happy about these two. T.M. Smith, to me, is a mixture of Quinnen Williams and Christian Barmore. Mean, nasty, slippery, athletic, makes big plays. And when he was out there on the field this past season, he made big plays. Jamil Burroughs, the same thing. This coaching staff really happy about Byron Young, happy about Justin Aboigbe, happy about guys like Damon Payne and Quinn Barnes. Just a lot of these young guys on this roster, these mean junkyard dogs on the defensive line. The coaching staff really excited about this group, and it feels like this is a group that's gone back to being 2 and 3 and 4 deep, or 3 and 4 and 5 deep on the defensive line rotation, kind of like what Alabama had in 2015, 2016, and 2017 with the litany of guys that it had along the defensive line. So Freddie Roach and this group really excited about what it has in the upcoming season. As we go down to the next thing here at the middle linebacker position. And at middle linebacker here, Jaylen Moody right now. So Jaylen Moody is getting the first crack. He's getting the first opportunity to get that starting spot at middle Mike linebacker. Alabama's going to want to keep Christian Harris at weak side, have him as its playmaker, see ball, get ball, attack the ball, which means Jaylen Moody will get the first crack here. I'm being told we'll get the first opportunity at that middle Mike linebacker position. The young man at 6'2", 225 pounds out of Conway, South Carolina. He came on and did a very admirable job in the Arkansas game, filling in for an injured Christian Harris. But right now, Moody expected to be the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker. Now, if Alabama is able to get Henry Toto out of the transfer portal from Tennessee, then we're going to see a whole bunch of changes, a whole bunch of altering, a whole bunch of things being maneuvered and shifted around. But right now, as we speak, Jaylen Moody is looking like he's getting that first crack there at that inside linebacker, that middle linebacker position. Among other guys being groomed for the middle linebacker role, Deontay Lawson, keep your eyes on him. He's being groomed for Mike linebacker. Keep your eyes on Jackson Bratton. He's being groomed for Mike linebacker. Also keep your eyes on Ian Jackson. Jackson Bratton being groomed for Mike linebacker. Ian Jackson is being groomed for both spots, for Mike and Will. He can play both spots there on the defensive side of the football. Kind of has that Rashaan Evans type of versatility. DeMoy Kennedy's being more so groomed for that weak side wheel backer position, but that's the other big update. Jaylen Moody getting that first crack at that Mike middle linebacker position. And now that takes us to the Alabama defensive secondary right now, the defensive secondary. And this is how things are starting to shape up according to what I have been told. So at that left corner spot, Josh Jobe has that for now. Josh Jobe's got that left corner spot. The spot opposite of Jobe, here is where the competition comes in, and that's why you see the question mark on screen, because at that right corner spot, there's Jalen Armour Davis battling, there's Marcus Banks battling, There is Kyrie Jackson, the JUCO corner, battling. Got a lot of guys battling there for that right corner spot. Now, at that star row and nickel, no one's taking that from Malachi Moore. That's his spot. Behind him is Brian Branch. At that money position in the dime row, that's another spot that's huge competition along with the right cornerback position. In the money row, you could have DeMarco Helms in that spot. You could have the likes of, you could have DeMarco Helms there. You could have Brian Branch there. You could have Brandon Turnich there. You could have Jalen Armour Davis there. You could have Ronald Williams there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition at that dime spot, at that money spot as well. As far as the two safeties are concerned, Jordan Battle will keep his spot at strong safety. That's concrete right there. At free safety, keep your eyes on DeMarco Helms, rising quickly, doing some big things in the fourth quarter program. Alabama's trying other guys at free safety as well, but right now DeMarco Helms is the guy that's appeared to have locked up or looking to lock up that free safety spot. But those are just some of the big updates here so far coming out of the fourth quarter program. We take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, a like on the show, hit that subscribe button as well so we can get you all the Tide football. Upon our return, we entertain your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your discussions after this.
In my own words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we are back in from the break here, folks, on a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciating you guys giving us that thumbs up on the show. Give the show a like there. Hit that subscribe button. Turn all of those notifications on so that way you have all the news, notes, and coverage on your favorite football program. And also, if you're trying to become a member to TDA on YouTube, you check out the link in the chat line, also in the description. That link will show you step by step how to be a member to TDA on YouTube. But we're going to take your calls right now. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. That's the number to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And we grab a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to get over the hump there on today. It's Wednesday. Listened a little bit ago. Heard what you said, and pretty excited about our defense and how the guys are competing in the program in the spring. I'm curious if you know anything about if we're going to get the two kid from Tennessee. And also, I was looking at their board. I was calling in, so I didn't hear of the last bit. But who do you think is going to start for me in the secondary? And I'll hang up and listen. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. So Toto, that right there on Toto, waiting on April to get here, because in April the NCAA votes on the one-time transfer rule. So like I mentioned, Saban's kind of guiding the Toto family through this. So we're waiting on April. when the NCAA votes on that one-time transfer rule, we will go from there where Toto is concerned. He wants to play. He wants to have his junior year be played out and then go pro. And if Alabama was to get him in here, it would be a huge deal having him inside, having Christian Harris at weak side. It'll be fantastic. So right now for Toto, we're waiting on April for the one-time transfer rule voting by the NCAA. In the secondary, that question, there's a lot of moving parts there in the secondary. Like I mentioned, to me, Josh Jobe would have that left corner spot. That right corner spot is going to be a lot of competition, a lot of bodies right there. And I've named some of those guys. You got Marcus Banks fighting, Kyrie Jackson fighting, Jalen Armour-Davis fighting, Jaquez Robinson fighting. There's a lot of guys battling for that spot, just like a lot of guys are battling for that dime row. I would like to see Brian Branch either in that dime row or in that safety row, because him and Malachi Moore on the field at the same time, that's just special. But the big thing is, this is a good problem to have, because it allows Coach Saban to get his best 5 to 6 guys on the field, whether it's in base packages or nickel and dime sub packages. But we appreciate that call right there. We actually got a voicemail here, so we'll take this voicemail here coming into the show. What's going on, my man?
Hey, this is Jim Johnson from Dallas, Texas, and I was just curious, who's going to be the lead recorder or lead recruiter in the DFW area since we pulled 5 kids out of Dallas-Fort Worth this last year in the recruiting cycle. So who's going to be the lead dog to maintain that recruiting edge in Dallas-Fort Worth? Thank you.
Good question right there. Good question. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is going to be Jay Valai. Jay Valai is the coach you're looking for. He's from Dallas. He's already been communicating with different recruits, according to our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA. So Jay Valai has already taken on that moniker of the DFW area. He's taken that on. He's out there on the trail. Now, Alabama has other coaches familiar with the area also. Remember, Jay Graham coached at Texas A&M. So Jay Graham is familiar. Robert Gillespie coached at Oklahoma State. He coached Oklahoma State, so he's familiar with that border between Oklahoma and Texas. So Gillespie's familiar. You look at also Bill O'Brien, who was the head coach of the Houston Texans, so he's familiar. You got a lot of guys with Texas ties on Saban's coaching staff, but the guy that has a direct connection with DFW, a direct connection with the Dallas area, you're looking at Jay Valai, who will take that reign, who will take the forefront there on the recruiting trail. We appreciate that thought and that question there coming in. But cool topic here right now to get to, and it goes to the Alabama Crimson Tide, who's actually brought in another coach here. Nick Saban still pulling in coaches. He's still stockpiling coaches here for his staff after bringing in a former college football head coach in Ron Cooper in a support staff role. Now he's brought in a young man by the name of Mark Opry. Mark Opry, who comes from Utah State University, was a DB coach at Utah State the last 2 years and was huge there in the Mountain West Conference 2019. His secondaries forced 24 turnovers, 13 fumble recoveries, 11 interceptions. Big production that he got out of Utah State. Opry has also produced, quite the amount of all-conference players, whether he was at Utah State or whether he was at Montana State or South Carolina or his alma mater at Texas Southern University. Wherever he's been, he's produced all conference players in the secondary. Now, he will be a senior defensive analyst for the Tide. His specialty, his strong suit, is with defensive backs, primarily with cornerbacks. And I guess the reason why Coach Saban made the move, one of two reasons. Either A, will Jay Valai be at Alabama for the long haul. I mean, hopefully he does. He has bounced around quite a bit in his career. He has not really been settled in on a particular job, a particular venue, a particular school. So if Valai does make a move to bounce after the first year, you would have a guy in Opfery who's got some experience here running defensive backs. But before I make my last point here, we take a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
That's what I was calling. I'll tell you what, I was going to wait and call there on Friday, but I see we got another coach coming in from Utah there. I'm sure glad we got another defensive analyst coming in there, Stephen. And we want to also wish Coach Stallings a happy 86th birthday yesterday. Man, anybody that turns 86 needs a congratulations. We need to congratulate Coach Stallings. What a champion, what a man for our program in Alabama.
And he looks well. And, he looks very well.
Yeah, he does. Coach Stallings is tough, but they don't make him like Coach Stallings anymore. He's a fine man. I met him a lot of times. Great gentleman. But who is this cat coming in from Utah, Stephen? What do you think about him?
I like the move. Coach Mark Opfery, 31 years of age, young guy, fiery guy, energetic guy, coming over from Utah State. He's got experience with corners. He worked with DBs at Utah State. He worked with them at Montana State, at Texas Southern University. Now, at South Carolina, he was a defensive quality control coach and a grad assistant. So at South Carolina, he had his hand with the linebackers, the defensive line, and guys in the secondary. So defensively, he's well-equipped, young guy, and I feel like Nick Saban, I feel like Nick Saban in his mind is thinking, as long as I can keep some young guys around me, I can have a vice grip on the recruiting trail, because as much as you want the experienced coaches like a Sal Sunseri, like a Charles Kelly to your side of the stack, you also want those young guns that can relate to these athletes, that can talk the language of these athletes, and that can feel like where they're coming from. So I thought in Saban's mind, it's as long as I keep me a fresh crop of young guys on my staff, I can keep a firm hold on the recruiting trail.
Looks that way. Well, that sounds good. Anything he puts up there, I'll tell you, whoever he hires or brings in, it's always worked out to the best. So, all right, everybody in the chat, Blue Ridge gang, everybody's looking good. Cities, towns, countries, and states. I tell you what, TD appreciates. I do too. There, we see everybody. Love everybody. Y'all stay safe. I'm gonna get out of here. We'll have us a little fun Friday there. Have us a little poem, giggle under our belt, going into the weekend on Friday there. So y'all be safe on Thursday. Be back on Friday. We'll see all y'all later on. Bye bye, everyone.
Appreciate the call there coming from Wayne. So just final thoughts here on Mark Opfery coming in from Utah State. I mean, the first thought was if Jay Valai doesn't stay long, if he doesn't stay longer than a year, then you would already have somebody in here that knows cornerbacks, knows how to operate the position. Or it could be a situation that Saban sees a young guy fresh in the game, on the rise, growing, and he does not want to let that opportunity to get away from him. But whatever the case is, Coach Opfery is here. He will be a defensive analyst for the Crimson Tide. We take our first break. We take our next break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we sit down with my man Chris Rogers, former Alabama cornerback, played from 2005 to 2009, the founder and CEO of Together Assisting People out of Birmingham. We'll talk with Chris Rogers after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We are firing back into the action here, folks, on a Wednesday, hump day on the number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciating everybody giving us a thumbs up, a like on the show. Hit that subscribe button. Turn all of those notifications on so that way you can get what you want, and that is all things Bama right here at TDA. Also, if you're trying to become a member to TDA on YouTube, you check out the link in the chat line and in the description. It will show you step by step on how to become a member to us on YouTube. But we go on over to the In My Own Words hotline where we pick up a dear friend of mine, a brother of mine, former Alabama cornerback play from 05 to 09 national champion, SEC champion, the Bill Gates of the game. When you talk about a founder, a CEO of Together Assistant People, Chris C. Money Rogers. Chris, what's going on, man?
Man, thanks for having me on. I'm so proud of you and all the work you've been doing, man. I've just been following you all year. Alabama won a championship. You won one as well, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love there. We got Chris Rogers here on the phone lines, joining us, former Alabama defensive back, played from 05 to 09. Big leader on that 09 SEC and national championship team. So, Chris, when you look at this, Alabama coming off a national championship, but on Nick Saban's mind, it's trying to get another one, trying to go back-to-back for the first time since 2011, 2012. But he's got to do this with having a quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience. First-year quarterback with not a lot of experience. Mac Jones last year was a first-year starter, but at least in 2019, he got his feet wet in some big games. So, this time around, whether the starter is Bryce Young, Paul Tyson, Jalen Milroe, none of these three have a lot of that big-time experience. And when you played in 09, you played with Greg McElroy, who didn't have a lot of big experience. How did you guys that year how did you guys keep Greg comfortable? How did you guys get Greg set to go as a quarterback? And what does Alabama need to do to get one of these three guys set to go on the roster for this upcoming season?
Well, man, I will start off by saying it's two totally different teams. I mean, when I look at Alabama wide receiver core, I just think it's like amazing. I mean, any one of us can throw back there to those guys. I love to throw to those guys because they're some burners. And then also the running back depth is just, I mean, Bryant Robinson, I think I'm expecting him to have a breakout year. Now that Najee's gone, but then he also got some other guys who chopping at his heels, some freshmen, some young talent. So, I just think like Alabama is balanced, man. They balanced O-line coming back. I mean, and I really think the secondary should improve tremendously. With Malachi, he should take a more of a leadership role in the secondary. And the D-line should be a lot better just because they was able to play well last year. So I'm excited about the team. I think we should be on all cylinders, to be honest with you, no matter who's the quarterback.
Good point right there. Now you bring up Malachi Moore. So aside from Malachi in the secondary, because you played corner, you were a big-time corner. Aside from Moore, is there anybody in that back five that you're going, I want to see more of this guy? Surtain was great, but now Surtain off to the NFL. Who else in that secondary outside of Malachi that has you going, I want to see more from this dude?
To be honest with you, man, I mean, Alabama has kind of been bit by the bug. A lot of these secondary guys that you kind of was looking forward to seeing, they either transferred out or no longer on the team. So, but you got to also remember all the recruits are getting a 4 or 5 star, so it don't really matter who's up. It's like next man up. So whoever get to win the job, I'm thinking that he's going to be a hell of an athlete, and he worked his ass off to get to where he at. So I'm feeling pretty confident in the kid.
So just anybody for you, anybody that put on that jersey, put on them pads, if they ready to go, they just ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, but it is one kid out of Mobile. He went to St. Paul. I forgot his little name. I just remember the name.
Armour Davis.
Yeah, I want to see how he do this year. I think he may end up becoming a special player. I remember him coming out, so I'm looking forward to this. May be his year.
And hopefully it is his year, because I remember when he came out of Mobile in 2018, Saban was high on him. Saban was really high on him, high on the athleticism, his IQ. It's just he got hurt, and that's what happens to a lot of these young guys. You get hurt as a freshman, and you get like 2 and 3 recruiting classes burying you, and then people kind of forget, like, yo, like we had this kid. He came in 4 years ago, and man, I didn't think he was still there. So hopefully this is a good year for Armour Davis. But when you look at just the defense, in particular here, Pete Golding, what do you expect from Pete Golding as a play caller this year? He's entering his 4th year at Alabama, his 3rd year of calling plays. What do you expect from him and this defense, especially with much of these guys back?
I think the biggest thing, continuity. You know what I'm saying? Like him as a D coordinator, as a caller, he grew a lot, and from his 2nd year to his 3rd year, and also with the more experience he get this year, I think he'll be able to be more dialed in. And even though Coach Saban does a great job of like orchestrating the defense, it's still up to him to call the right plays and put the guys in the right situation. But more importantly, he knows his personnel. He recruited all the guys. He knows what they do well, what they don't do well, know their strengths and weaknesses. And also I think like last year, what's our linebacker, number 30? I think it was number 32 who got hurt but came back toward their
Dylan Moses.
Dylan Moses, like great kid, but like we kind of got caught last year. Like he was in the game and got exposed in the pass situation. So I think it's kind of good that he's moving on. Next linebacker probably be more athletic, more agile to not put us in vulnerable situations. Because besides that, it really wasn't too much of weakness in the linebacker core. They played well. It just, it need more big plays, more flashes out of them. But overall, solid. Solid defense was solid when it was bend but don't break defense. But this year, I'm looking for them to take more of Alabama dominance, presence on the field.
Now I know, and if you're just tuning into the show, ladies and gentlemen, we got Chris Rogers here on the phone lines, former Alabama defensive back, played from 2005 to 2009, a big leader on that 2009 championship team, and he's also the founder and CEO of Together Assisting People in Birmingham. Chris, I know you said you don't like to compare things. This Alabama is different from the Alabama that you played on, but is there just a different mindset that you guys had back then defensively versus what this new generation of players on that side of the ball have? Is it just a different mindset?
Yeah, I think you got to put things in context, right? Like the rules have changed dramatically, right? Like when a guy comes across the middle, you lower your head, you liable to get ejected out of the game, right? So for me, when we played, you come across the middle, who's gonna make you pay? So now you got the secondary literally got to think, and you got to think for a split second. You lost in this game because it's bang bang. So it's just like those little things. I don't think we had to think about. It was like if you come across the middle, we're gonna make you pay. These guys, they gotta. If you hit a guy too low or too high, you ejected out of the game. Missed the second half of the next game. It's like crazy, right? So, and I think that kind of take away your aggression as a safety, as a defensive back to take that kill shot. So, and then also too, just things just change, right? Like the running more spread, more IPO. So it's like a lot of quick throw screens. The game is just everything is high tempo now. So and when we played, it was like, hey, we're gonna line up, put on our big boy pants, and then we may throw the ball every now and then. You may get 15 passes, 18 passes a game, but now they throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. So yeah.
Now you mentioned Bryant Robinson here, and this is a guy that's going to have a chance to be a featured back. He's waited his time, he's put in the work, and now he's looking like he's going to take this moment. What has you so excited about B-Rob? Because I remember when he came in 2017, big dude, big factor as a 4-star athlete. But just you personally, what makes you excited to see number 4, Bryant Robinson do his thing this year?
Well, anytime you get a chance, when you, as a former athlete, you get to kind of go back and talk to the guys. You kind of get a chance to meet them and look in their eyes and kind of see what they made of. He's somebody who didn't shy away from competing. He could have easily transferred or went to another school because Najee came in, number 1 running back. He competed, pushed Najee. Najee's going to be a first-round pick. And every chance he got, when he got the ball, he made the most of it. So I always root for the underdog guy. I'm an underdog person, so anytime somebody who's hungry, put in the work, put in the effort, I just wish him nothing but the best. So I'm looking forward to him. He's one of my dark horse Heisman Trophy candidates. So yeah.
My man Chris Rogers saying dark horse Heisman Trophy candidate, Mr. Bryant Robinson. He's Chris Rogers, ladies and gentlemen, former Alabama defensive back, played from 2005 to 09. Try to call you no lineman. Defensive back, played from 05 to 09. Big leader on that 09 national championship team. He is also the founder and CEO of Together Assisting People out of Birmingham. Chris, man, as always, man, much love, much appreciation to you. Thank you for coming on and spending some time with us. You stay safe, man. Take care of yourself. Be good, man.
You too. God bless.
Absolutely. Chris Rogers. Chris, C Money Rogers here talking some Alabama football here with us. We take a break right now on the show. As always, be sure to give us that thumbs up, that like on the show. Hit that subscribe button. Turn those notifications on so that we here at TDA can continue supplying you with the best in Alabama football. Upon our return, we get into your phone calls, your thoughts, your ideas, your questions about the Crimson Tide right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're rocking and rolling, people. Rocking and rolling. Back in from the break on the number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. People, we're trying to hit that 50 likes, people. We're at 31 likes right now. Be sure to hit that like button on the show. Run those likes up. Give us a thumbs up so we can continue supplying you, the best fans out there, the Tide Nation, with Alabama football coverage. Also, got to remind you guys of mybookie.ag. That is mybookie.ag, latest sponsor here to Touchdown Alabama Magazine. So let me just say this. You feeling lucky, you feeling fortunate, you feel like you got the skills to pay the bills and wagering on these Alabama football games, check out our guys at mybookie.ag. You make the right play and sign up today. And when you do, you use the promo code TDAlabama to get your deposit matched halfway. That's all the way up to $1,000. You can't beat it, cannot beat it. MyBookie.ag. That's MyBookie.ag. Make the right play. Go there today using the promo code TDAlabama. But we go to the phone lines right now, 205-448-1358. That is the number to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We take a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Here we are, man. It be me from Birmingham, man.
What's going on? What's going on, B-Ham in the building? What's happening with you?
Man, hey, man. You need to stop on that capping about Paul Titan, man. I know he's from the city and all, man, but we know Bryant Young from the start, man. Why you keep on saying all that stuff about Matt Jones, Paul Titan and Bryant Young, man? You know Bryant's going to be the star quarterback, man. Talk about that capping, man.
Man, I ain't capping. I'm just being real. Paul out there fighting. I'm just being real. I'm just calling it how I see it. If this ain't no cap here, my eyes ain't playing tricks on me. I'm watching the tape. I'm breaking it down. I'm checking my list and reading it twice. Ain't no cap here. Paul really doing this thing. Paul is really.
What have you seen from Paul, man? Come on. What have you seen from Paul? He ain't playing Johnson High School, man. Come on, man.
I mean, yeah, but when you watch him out there, when you watch those mechanics out there, he's got an incredible arm. It's lively, it's fiery. Just wait and see, man. Just wait to the A-Day game. Wait to fall camp. Wait to the A-Day game. Once the A-Day game gets in here, you will see what I'm talking about. Paul Tyson is no joke.
You trying to tell me that Paul Tyson gonna start over Bryant Young, man?
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
Man, you don't cut that out, man. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, yes. In my opinion, 100%. 100% in my opinion. If Bryce Young proves me wrong, I will gladly say, hey, I was wrong. I will gladly admit it. If Bryce Young takes this job, I will gladly admit, hey, bro, you the man. I was wrong. And I'm not saying that Bryce doesn't have the ability, because he does. I'm just saying the information that I have gotten on Paul Tyson, the things that I have seen on this young man, and the work that he's put in. Yes, he's a legacy guy, but he's showing you he about that work, he about that business. Paul about that business. I mean, I've seen legacy kids that just roll off the name. Well, I'm so-and-so uncle, I'm so-and-so nephew, I'm so-and-so son, I'm so-and-so, grandchild, so I can just roll off a name. Like, Paul ain't like that. Paul is actually putting the money in the bag and showing you in his work ethic, yes, I may be the great-grandson of a legacy child, but I'm about that business, up close, personal, front and center. So I'm looking forward to the spring game. I'm actually going to get into an Alabama quarterback conversation later on in the show, but definitely appreciate that call there and talk about Bryce Young and Paul Tyson. We take our next call. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just sitting here driving down the road in Louisiana over here. Bless my heart. But now I'm calling to ask you about the rumor of possibly picking up that LSU guy that went in the transfer, that Eric Gilbert.
That's been the biggest. Yeah, that's been the biggest question to a lot of people as of right now. It's a murky situation because some people feel like his Gilbert's grades were not up to par. Others are saying, other pieces of information. It's kind of murky and up in the air. So right now, I'm not sure. Now, Coach Saban has always kind of been one to give guys a second chance, offer guys a second chance. Now, am I saying that Saban will extend the olive branch to Gilbert? Not saying that, but it's a very murky situation with him right now, and I hate it for him because he's a very talented athlete.
Right, I totally agree. And when I was listening to you a while ago talking about Paul Tyson and Bryce Young, I totally agree with you 100%. Actually, I agree with you 1,000%, because I read an article. Now, how true it is, it was an ex-player that was with Alabama who watched him throw with very little effort, just like a bomb at 80 yards. Just, got one of the strongest arms that he ever seen, and he's quick on his release. He's a pro-style quarterback, and he said he's got some pretty good speed for his size, and I agree 100%. I believe Paul Tyson's going to make Bryce Young work, and they're going to make each other work. But I have a feeling we might see Paul Tyson possibly the starter when the beginning of the season comes in.
I mean, you got to have competition. Competition is a good thing. If you are an Alabama fan right now, if you're a diehard fan, this is what you want. Nobody's getting this job easy. Nobody's winning this job easy. Everybody pushing everybody. This is exactly what you want if you're an Alabama fan. But we definitely appreciate that call coming in there from my man from Louisiana. We take our next call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
What's going on, Stephen M. Smith? This is Tide Man checking in from Jackson, Mississippi. How you doing, brother?
Tide Man, doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I missed the first 30 minutes of your show, so I don't know if you mentioned Gene Stallings, but happy birthday, happy 86th birthday to the legendary Coach Gene Stallings. Yeah, I tell you what, regardless of what anybody thinks about Alabama football, there is not a finer gentleman that has ever walked the sidelines and coached the game of football than Gene Stallings. He is a true man's man, a true gentleman. And if anybody wants to read just a wonderful book, which is not really about football, but about a father's relationship with a very, very special son, read Gene Stallings' book called Another Season, about his relationship with John Mark Stallings, who passed away at the age of 46. He suffered from Down syndrome. Bama fans are well familiar with him, but it's a great book, a great read, deeply moving. It really gives you an insight into Gene Stallings' character. And Gene Stallings, I was a Bama fan, as a kid, but it was at 1992 Alabama Gene Stallings coach team with Jay Barker and the Deuce David Palmer that really turned me into a full-fledged, diehard Alabama fan. So happy birthday to Coach Gene Stallings. And I liked the interview with Chris Rogers, and I'll tell you what, that was interesting comments about Bryant Robinson. And I'll tell you, the thing I love about Bryant Robinson is he is a north and south runner. I love those guys that know how to just make one cut and go north and south and go downhill and be physical. And Bryant Robinson seems to be that type of guy who's also got the ability, he's also got just enough wiggle to, make people miss as well. So it's going to be interesting. And as far as Bill O'Brien, I was, concerned about him, but I tell you what, my doubts are erased now after the commitment from Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, when you look at how loaded we are at the quarterback position, and then Bill O'Brien goes out and gets a commitment from Ty Simpson, who chooses Alabama over Clemson and Tennessee. Man, look out. Right? We're talking about Bryce Young, Paul Tyson. Yeah, it's going to be.
This is simply Coach Saban and Alabama showing the masses that this program is now quarterback friendly and it's not going anywhere.
That's right. And as far as Bryce Young, you've been out there watching these guys. My only concern or question about Bryce Young is his size. I think that might be the only thing that might cause him to lose out to Paul Tyson. He's got all the he's like Tua. He's got all the kind of Tua dual threat abilities, and seems from everything that you hear, he's got the quarterback IQ as well. But it just might be his size that might cause him to lose out to Paul Tyson. What do you think about that? Well, I'll hang up and listen. Roll Tide, brother. Appreciate what you do. Talk to you soon, man.
Absolutely, Todd, man. I mean, Bryce at 6 feet, 194 pounds. That's what he's listed there on RollTide.com. Of course, he's going to have to add some muscle. He's going to have to add some muscle. The one thing that I want to see with Bryce, and once again, I will go into this deeper in the final segment of conversation, is him grasping even more of the playbook, right? That's the biggest thing for Bryce. Him grasping even more of the playbook, because Paul has been in here now going on his 3rd year. So he knows his offense, this kind of system, backwards, forward, sideways. Now, with Bill O'Brien in here, he may have some different terminology, some different word jargon, some different ways to execute different things, and that may help Bryce. But I want to see him grab even more so of a hold here, on this playbook, on this offense here for the Crimson Tide. But before we take our next break here, I gotta show some love to Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts, when he is not preparing to be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, this young man has just been the epitome of a great role model. Whether it is, bringing a smile to the face of a cancer patient, or buying a home for a family, or even, coming back to Tuscaloosa to surprise children for a read across America and honoring the birthday of Dr. Seuss, which was yesterday. I mean, he surprised an elementary school in Tuscaloosa, and he was on the the Google Meet, the virtual app, and the students, the teachers were smiling, they were screaming, they were excited, they were so happy. I got a chance to talk to them. One of the teachers earlier today, Miss Cassandra Pitts, who spoke on, he read one of the children's favorite Dr. Seuss books to them, and everybody was so excited to just see Jalen Hurts on the screen, to see Hurts talking to them, reading to them, spending time with them. And this is the type of leadership, this is the type of guy that the Philadelphia Eagles front office needs to get behind. I understand they're having thoughts about, with the 6th overall pick, do we take a quarterback? Do we bring somebody in free agency to challenge Jalen? Do we not hand him the keys to the Eagles organization? But this is somebody that's been putting in the work off season with his body, but has also been putting in the work, as a role model, bringing in joy to everybody he faces. So really proud of just the role model that Jalen Hurts is. Gotta shout out my man Willie Beeman one time, baby. Willie Beeman dropping in that $10 donation via the Super Chats, helping us out here. Remember, folks, daily Super Chat goes $75. Daily Super Chat goal. Appreciate you guys showing us the love, the support, and the joy that you bring us, making us your show. $75 daily Super Chat goal. Appreciate that love. They're coming from Willie Beeman. And Jimmy Clay has dropped in with that $5 donation. So appreciate that love. They're coming from one Jimmy Clay and Willie Beeman. We take another break here on the show. Appreciate you guys for dropping that thumbs up, giving a like on the show, hitting that subscribe button, and having those notifications turned on so that you can continue getting the best in news, notes, and information on Tide football. We got this goal here of 50 likes here. The last time I checked, the show had 32 likes on it. We're trying to hit that goal of 50 likes, so continue hitting that like button, pounding that thumbs up, showing us that you are really appreciating the content that we're able to bring to you. But when we get back from the break, I'll dive into why it's good for Alabama to have this quarterback competition. I mean, people are kind of sort of bickering back and forth. Why it's good that Bryce Young has Paul Tyson pushing him, has Jalen Milroe pushing him. We'll talk about the positives of this quarterback battle right after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back in from the break here, folks. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Folks, we are 5 likes away from the goal of 50 likes. 5 likes away. You guys are doing fantastic. If you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, go ahead, hit it, smash it right now. Getting us to the goal of 50 likes. You guys are doing an incredible job helping us out here where the show is concerned. Also, got to shout out Gucci Tide one time, that $10 donation in the Super Chats. And how about Lloyd Gray? He drops in here with that $5 donation. So appreciate you guys helping us out where the Super Chats are concerned. Remember that daily Super Chat goal, $75 daily Super Chats. You guys have been amazing helping us out here, showing us the love, the passion, your support, making us your show here on the YouTube channel. Also, got to remind you of tdaware.com. That is tdaware.com. So, for all of you fans still overjoyed with the Tide's national championship, check out our championship collection merch. You grab you 18 of them things, folk, t-shirt, hoodie, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs which features all 18 championship years on the back. You head over to tdaware.com. Do that right now, tdaware.com. Go to the Championship Collections tab, grab you some of that merch today, get you those shirts, show them their support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But now, big conversation of the evening, why it's good, why it's important, why it's a great thing to have this competition, why it's a great thing to have Paul Tyson and Jalen Milroe sort of pushing Bryce Young. I mean, why this competition is a really, really good thing. And once again, I go back to a conversation I had on an earlier show, and I don't hate Bryce Young. For everybody that has this feeling, well, Steven just hates Bryce Young. I don't hate Bryce Young. I've never hated Bryce Young. People said I hated Tua Tagovailoa. I never hated Tua. I happen to think that Bryce Young is a very capable quarterback. I happen to think Bryce Young brings a lot of athleticism and some magical qualities to the table. However, me being as a reporter, when I get information on Paul Tyson, this is the information that I'm getting on Paul Tyson. And I've been getting a lot of information on this young man, and for obvious reasons. He is putting in this work. He is putting in this effort. He is putting in this drive, and he wants to show people that just because I'm Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson does not mean that I'm just resting on the laurels and not working. Like, this young man is actually working, and it's a good thing. And the reason why, and not only just him being Tyson, you look at one Jaylen Milroe. The word on him right now is he's come into the fourth quarter program, and he's picking up things, and he's dissecting things, and he's learning things within the system. And this is good. This is really, really good, because, you know, what this does is you're only as good as the competition. You are only as good as the person that you are competing against, right? If Paul Tyson was out there not doing nothing, how good is Bryce for real, right? If Jaylen Milroe was out there doing nothing, how good is Bryce for real? Like, the winner of this job at the quarterback position, the winner of this job is going to be they're the right person for the job because they got the best competition on the roster around each other. And not only that, the person who wins the job is going to be the best quarterback in the SEC and probably the best quarterback in college football. So this is a good thing. You want to have people challenging each other. You want to have people battling each other. You want to have people getting the most out of each other. And for me, you know, if I was Bryce Young in this situation, I would tell the folks, keep talking up Paul Tyson, keep talking up Jaylen Milroe, keep talking them up. Leave me out of the conversation. So that allows me to sit back in the cut, do my thing, put my head down, grind, work, and get the job done. Because I think, I want to bring this to your attention here, ladies and gentlemen. Since 2014, the quarterbacks that had the most hype, the quarterbacks that were overly saturated in conversation, and by overly saturated, I'm referring to no matter where you turned, whether it was Facebook, Twitter, different news outlets, different media outlets, different reporters, the masses out there were talking about that one quarterback. Whenever a particular Alabama quarterback was propped up by all of the masses, that particular quarterback did not win the starting job straight up in the first season. Case in point, think about this. 2014, everybody propped up Jake Coker. He was oversaturated. He was on everybody's pedestal. Everywhere you turned, it was Coker, Coker, Coker. Blake Sims, horrible A-Day game. He was written off. He's not the guy. He can't throw. He can't make plays. He can't read a defense. He can't dissect. All he does is run. People wrote Blake Sims out of the pasture, right? Jacob Coker was the guy. All Blake Sims did, put his head down, went to work, hooked up with a local quarterback trainer, won the starting job, and had a huge season. 2016, the same thing about, Blake Barnett. Everybody was saying, get on the Blake Barnett bus. Everywhere you turned, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, news articles, reporters, fans, media. The masses were going, Blake Barnett time, his moment. He's ready. Give it to him right now. In terms of Jalen Hurts, it was Saban's not going to start a freshman. He never starts a freshman. We'll make you think he's going to start a freshman. That never happens, and it never will happen. Jalen Hurts put his head down, did the work, became the starting quarterback. The same thing last season. The idea was Bryce Young season, Bryce Young season, Bryce Young time, Bryce Young moment, Bryce Young the best, Bryce Young the greatest since the Easy Bake Oven, Bryce Young the greatest since sliced bread, Bryce Young the greatest since the new retro Jordans dropped in the stores. Everybody was talking Bryce. And for obvious reasons, he came in under a lot of expectations. But the thing with Mac Jones was, if Mac is the starter, Bama's going to lose 3 to 4 games, 4 to 5 games. Mac can't do it. He can't process defenses. Can't do this, can't do that. We saw what Mac Jones did. So if you're looking at this from this perspective, the quarterback that's always getting pushed up, always getting oversaturated by the masses in terms of conversation, that quarterback 9 times out of 10 has not outright won the job straight up. So you look at Bryce Young, here's a moment for him where he can say, hey, keep talking up, Paul. Keep talking up, Jalen Milroe. Let me sit back in the cut. Let me do my own thing, and let me quietly, kind of rise and take this thing. But the competition is good. This is good competition. It's iron sharpens iron. You want the best guy out there. Let these guys battle to see who is the best guy out there now. And just picking out Bryce and Paul here for just a minute, because Jalen Milroe still got to continue to pick up more of the system, more of the offense, more of the things in terms of being involved around the campus here. When you pull out just Paul and Bryce for a second, I feel like this is going to go through fall camp. It's going to go through fall camp, this conversation. And the reason why I say this is, on A-Day, you'll see a glimpse of what both guys can do on A-Day. You'll see that glimpse, because both guys are going to go out there and try to put on an absolute fire show, and then that's going to create even more conversation. But this is going to go through fall camp, and I feel like the Miami game, the season opener, the Miami game, whoever has this team, because both are going to play, whoever has this team playing with the most confidence, effectively, efficiently, that's going to be the guy that's going to win the job moving forward. I go back to the 2011 quarterback race. It was A.J. McCarron, Phillip Sims. McCarron ended up, it went through fall camp. They had to play a game against Kent State, but at the end, it was A.J. that pulled it out. 2016, same thing with Blake Sims and Jalen Hurts. It went through fall camp. The USC game was the game. Jalen ends up pulling it out. So I feel like this is going to go deep into fall camp, through fall camp. The Miami game will tell the tape. But as always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio, and Spotify as well. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. As always, Tide Nation, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have that sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, if you're trying to become a new member to the TDA site on YouTube, you check out the link in the chat line and in the description. It will take you step by step in how to become a member. You can also get that print magazine, the print edition of TDA, coming soon, the print magazine, by going to touchdownalabama.com, click join, become a subscriber today. And you can also cop that 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description too. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, the legitimate thing, the smart thing, to not be bored. As always, get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, spit in my own words.